Testing, 1, 2, 3. Wait for Todd to get here. Breaker 1-9, radio check. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding, guys. So I did a live earlier, and the audio didn't come through my headset as I was hoping, because I've never done these lives before. So I'm doing it again, though I'm having a guest coming, whose name is Todd Marty, who apparently has pull with some of the trucking community, and I wanted to reach out. This video is to talk about me and what I feel about the trucker shutdown. Approved. Still trying to get Todd Marty on here. Says it's adding you, Todd. Well, I guess we're having some technical difficulties on Todd coming into our broadcast. So I'm the little guy. I am a mega carrier. I drive for Prime Incorporated. I'm an individual. Huh?
One of many.
One of many, my wife says. I approve of the trucker shutdown. I encourage everybody to at least shut down. You don't have to go out and protest. You don't have to go and block traffic. There's other people that, enjoy doing that. I commend them for it, but I just hope that they do it peacefully this year. Still trying to get Todd Marty to the live. Anyway, I don't approve of mega carriers making some of the drivers that work for them, their puppets, if you will. We have rights. We have the Constitution that we try to uphold, and even peace officers don't value our Constitution, don't value our rights, try and trick us into giving them information um, without actually asking bluntly. Um, no, I'm not out there and protest and block traffic, but I am peacefully. I don't believe in a lot of the mega carriers and the way that they do their training. Um, like, for instance, you know, a driver finishing training, being over the road for 6 months or less, some of them are even less, and then training a brand new driver. I don't agree with that. I don't train myself because I don't agree with their training and some of these training farms. I believe that if they were having people train new drivers that had more experience, that there would be less accidents on the road and oopsies or mistakes. I got lucky. I had a driver that had, or a trainer that had trucking in his blood and had a background of it. My wife has family of a whole line of truckers. Um, I don't believe in the farms, the training farms. Um, and some people, especially belittle us, and they don't think that we belong out here on the road. We belong out here just as much as somebody with 30 plus years belongs out here. We're out here trying to support our families. We're trying to be successful. Um, we're trying to do something with our lives other than, collecting welfare or using the system.
Or being stuck in a box.
My wife. You're so funny.
Well, nobody likes a cubicle, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nobody likes a cubicle, she says. Or she said, nobody likes being stuck in a box, your average 9 to 5 job. We get to be out here and see the country, and some of the sunsets and sunrises are absolutely gorgeous. I love being a truck driver. I love the company that I work for. I love the fact that Prime allows me to be my own independent person. To Prime, most of us are just numbers, but I mean, my dispatcher knows me by my name. The night dispatchers know me by my name. I still have to give them my truck number because my truck number is a little confusing for them, and they run numbers all day long. But I really like the relationship that I have with my dispatcher, even though I work with a mega carrier. I'm not forced to be out here on the road for long amounts of time. It's my decision that I spend, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. It just depends on, what's going on in my life financially, that I spend that much time out here. I'm not a company driver. I am actually buying my truck. But I want to get my own authority, and I've looked into it, but they won't give me insurance rates without having a DOT number, which just to get a DOT number is like $3,200, and all these fees and licensing and all this stuff. It's not worth it with the revenue increase that I would get if I became a true owner-operator. So I don't mind hauling Prime's freight and running under their own authority and having a 65-mile-an-hour governed truck. It doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is, drivers that try and pass you going 1 or 2 mile an hour faster than you and end up holding up the left lane of traffic and not being able to, the other drivers on the road not being considerate to them. It just drives the crap out of me, Then they look over at you and flip you off. You're in the right lane, minding your own business, and they're giving you the bird because I'm supposed to slow down, but yet you're in the left lane trying to pass me. It baffles me. It really does. I usually just, wave at them, get on the CB radio and say, "Oh, I love you too," or something, just to, piss them off, because they want a reaction when you flip them the bird, or when they flip you the bird. But I don't have a problem with the ELD. I've been on the ELD for 7 years, and I know a lot of people talk crap about the people that are on ELDs or the people that aren't. I just want to see the hours of service be more, how do you put it? Not binary. Well, let me say this. Let me say it this way. The 14-hour clock is a joke. Because some of the delays that us truck drivers, especially, not just the owner-operators, the mega carriers too, spend on delays at shippers and receivers is absolutely ridiculous. And even though we may be sitting at a shipper or receiver all day, we may not be necessarily tired by the time that we get done loaded. We should be able to decide when our clock is running. The 14-hour clock, the only way that the 14-hour clock resets is either if you have 8 consecutive hours in the sleeper berth, or you have 10 consecutive hours in the sleeper berth. Other than that, if the 14-hour clock was able to stop when we're at a shipper or receiver, that would make things a little bit easier on us. We should be able to decide when we sleep, when we're tired. Well, unfortunately, Robert Cook, for anybody that has so many trucks or works for a company that has so many trucks, we have to be on ELDs. It's not a big deal on having ELDs. I still make good money. Yeah, Todd Marty, talk more about your family history. Well, my family doesn't have the trucking history. My wife's side of the family has the trucking history. Her mom and dad were over the road for many, many years. My wife rode with them. Grew up on the road. So I have my wife's trucking background, and her dad, when I met my wife, let me drive his truck down the street. Let me get a feel for what it was like, and just driving a block down the road and turning around and going back was enough for me to be hooked on it. I love trucking. I love being out here. Yeah, I work for a mega carrier, but I'm happy where I am. Your wife tell us. How long did he drive? How long did your dad drive?
Since I got into middle school.
How many years? Give me a number.
Well, I'm 31 now, and I believe most people get into middle school in their early teens. So
15 years?
15, 20 years.
15, 20 years?
He was even driving before I was born.
Yeah, 15 years. Felicia's parents, my wife's parents, were driving over the road.
But my dad, he drove before I was born, too. So.
Okay. But anyway, the mega carrier, the bottom line is I work for a mega carrier, and I stand for all the truck drivers and I'm going to shut down on April 12th. I'm not going to be out there protesting, but I'm going to be at home, not pulling any freight. And, you know, I hope that there's other people in the mega carrier industry that will also do the same.
On top of that, it's a lot more safer.
It's a lot more safer to go home and peacefully protest and just not haul any freight, so that the country will still feel the pain of what it's like to not have your toilet paper, your water, your groceries, any of the stuff that people use on a daily basis. I believe that we need to stand up for our constitutional rights, that we need to not be the country's puppets. I agree that the FMCSA should at least have some truck drivers on the board to be able to speak for the other truck drivers out here as far as what rules we have or don't have. Or like the other guy's live video that I watched said that it should be abolished. Well, I don't think it'll ever be abolished, but I do think that having some real truck drivers that know what the industry is like and being out here on the road is like, rather than somebody sitting at a desk pushing papers and never step foot on the road, I don't think that is a good is good for people to be making rules for us that don't know what the actual industry is like, what we go through on a day-to-day basis, the delays that we have, the illegal searches of our vehicle. I understand having our trailer checked out, but looking in our side boxes, looking inside of our truck, it's an illegal search. It's against our constitutional rights. I hope that more mega carrier truck drivers stay at home. I really do.
I just think the public needs to be more educated.
And yeah, Todd, my wife was very proud of her dad.
Very, very proud. Dog.
She's proud of me. I've been over the road for 7 years working for a mega carrier. Even if I became a true owner-operator and worked under my own authority, I would still pull my company's freight because they treat me good. They do great. I love my truck. I have the only Bumblebee truck in the United States
that you know
of. That, Bridget, you bring up a good point, is if I go home on April 12th, do I go home and shut down for just one day? Or do I shut down until the protest is over? Because, I mean, I'm sure most of you know that, you know, we don't make a lot of money out here. We aren't compensated for some of the stuff that we should be compensated for, our downtime, and it's always a grind to provide for my family and to pay up my bills. So, you know, I might be able to stay home for 3 or 4 days, but if it starts getting to a week that this protest is going on, I'm gonna have to come back out on the road. My family comes first. But I am going to at least shut down for the 12th and maybe the 13th, maybe the 14th, and support the truckers out there that are protesting. And I hope that it's more peaceful this year. I'm not going to say anything more than I hope it's more peaceful this year. Do it the right way, truckers. Be professional. Don't give the other truck drivers a bad name, because we already have a bad name.
Everyone treats you guys like criminals, and you guys aren't
We all,
criminals.
yeah, like my wife said, the general population, society, treats us like criminals. I don't have any drugs in my truck. I don't have any alcohol. I don't consume alcohol or do any drugs. I am completely sober as they come. And we're treated like garbage out here.
Half of the population doesn't even know that you guys even have a clock.
Will Van Horn. My company cannot tell me to roll. I get to choose when I go home. So it's just going to be another day of going home, just like any other day, having home time, just not pulling any freight. So, I understand why you guys got to block traffic, and shut down some interstates.
Get your point across.
To get your point across. But do it professionally. Don't curse at people. Don't make rude remarks. Don't give people the bird. Park your trucks along the interstate. Hold hands. Make a big row, a line across the interstate. Hold hands and just stand there.
Or just park on the side of the freeway. Don't even block traffic.
Or just
park.
Just park. I mean, just do it professionally this time. I think professionalism would get out more and make more of an impact than acting like a bunch of animals, because it's just going to give us a bad name.
Yeah, if you're going to act like
Bridget,
animals,
even if I was a company driver or owner-operator, my company, for every day, no, not every day, for every week that I'm out on the road as a company driver, it would be one day at home. So for every week is one day. So if I was out for 4 weeks, which I've already been, I could stay home for 4 days. But as an owner-operator, I can stay home as long as I want. But the only problem is, the longer I stay home, the truck payment that I'm making to purchase my truck is still coming out of my settlement, and then it's harder to get out of the hole after I leave the house. So I can't be home for a long period of time, but I will try and be home as long as I can during the protest. No, I'm not assuming that you aren't going to be professional about the protest. I've just heard things from the past, and I'm just encouraging this shutdown to be professional and to be done the right way. That's all I'm saying. Is there anything else that I need to cover, Todd? I encourage all of the mega carriers to be a part of this shutdown. I encourage the mega carriers, because we're the little guys. We matter just as much as anybody else. We are an individual. We're out here providing for our families just like everybody else. Our rights are being violated. Our Constitution is being violated. I don't know if you guys are YouTubers or watch a lot of YouTube, but you should take the time to look at some of the First Amendment and Second Amendment audits that the YouTubers do. It's very interesting. And there are people out there being educated about the right to video record in public, the Second Amendment rights for people that states that have open carry. It's very interesting because people are going out there and doing Constitution audits and making people accountable of our Constitution, making more people aware. Knowing your laws. whether you have to provide ID, whether you, in certain situations, have to provide consent to search, having probable cause. That is going on YouTube all the time, where they do those audits, and there are truck drivers that are having their constitutional rights violated. They're just the security guards of places like, what is it, Metro Foods? Metro Foods in Mississippi. The team driver, the husband and wife that got brutally beat up because they were asked to leave, or they weren't asked to leave. The team drivers wanted to leave because of the illegal search that Metro Foods was doing. They thought they were going to pick up food. Apparently it was, they were picking up a high value load, and some of those high value loads can be really sketchy or secure as far as them, wanting to check your truck out and whatnot. But when the two truck drivers said that they wanted to leave, that they're not consenting to the search anymore, that this isn't constitutionally right, the security guards went off on them, completely beat the living daylights out of them, and then they got arrested. Why did those truck drivers get arrested for all they wanting to do was leave and not wanting to haul that load anymore? That doesn't make sense at all. So I actually, after seeing that video go viral on the internet, I actually put that on my Google Maps as a place I am not going, because that was just outrageous. We deserve more respect and to be treated right, just like anybody else would want to be treated.
We're the ones who bring you everything.
We're the ones that bring your freight, your groceries, your toilet paper, water, you name it, your comforts to your doorstep or to your supermarkets. I know I'm a mega carrier, but we still do the same thing that everybody else does to provide for our country.
And to provide for your family.
We sacrifice so much out here on the road. I have missed watching my son grow up. My son is 12 years old now, and I missed the majority of his life because I've always been on the road. I've missed laying in bed with my wife at night, cuddling next to a fire under the covers. I don't have any hobbies because I never have time for any hobbies. All I do is drive this truck, do paperwork, take care of my taxes, pay my bills, pay my mortgage. Once in a while, we stop and have a good meal, see some sights maybe. But most of the time, I'm behind the steering wheel or in the sleeper of my truck, making sure that I'm getting the rest that I need to pull the next load. I sacrifice a lot to do this job, but I enjoy this job. And I think that we deserve more respect from the shippers and receivers, from the country, from the other four-wheelers on the road that purposely cut us off because they just don't give two shits, and their day is more important than ours. The four-wheelers on the road, they need to be more educated on how to act around an 18-wheeler.
You guys don't stop on a dime.
We don't stop on a dime. If you get in our way and we hit you from behind, we're the bad guy. We get in trouble. It's our fault. But,
anytime there's an accident with an 18-wheeler, they try and point it on the 18-wheeler.
Yeah, every accident, even if it isn't our fault, the driver of the 18-wheeler is still drug tested, scrutinized, gone through with a fine-tooth comb. Our logs are gone through. We're completely scrutinized if we get in an accident, whether it's our fault or not. We're always getting the finger pointed at. So, stand as one. Stand together. We are all truck drivers. Get the mega carriers involved this time. Go to Prime, Swift, CR England, JB Hunt. All of them. Get the mega carriers involved. Because if we don't get the mega carriers involved in the shutdown, this nation will still have freight moving during that shutdown, and it just won't be enough. We need a full-blown trucker shutdown for it to make an impact. So please, from the little guys, from the mega carriers, just, you can either go protest with everyone, or you can peacefully just go home and have home time, spend time with your kid, your wife, husbands, whatever.
Your dogs.
Your dogs.
Thank you. Farm animals.
Just show your support and go home on April 12th, 2019. Peacefully protest. You don't have to tell your carrier that you're protesting. Just set for home time. Go home. So that the ones that are out there protesting and trying to make a difference, so that the country can see what it's like for freight to stand still, on how important the truck driver is to this country, to this nation. Because if the truck driver isn't out here moving the freight, the shelves won't stay stocked. So I'm going to end this video here with that being said. Please share this video to all of the truckers that you know, all the mega carriers, anybody that will watch this video. Stand together as one for this trucker shutdown. Last year didn't make enough of a difference. I didn't participate in last year's because why? I felt like the little guy. I felt like I didn't make it. It wouldn't make a difference. So this year, I am going to shut down. I'm going to stand with all of the other truck drivers. I may be a mega carrier, but I know what it's like out here on the road. I've seen some shit.
Heck, yesterday we had an accident happen right in front of us.
Yeah, yesterday, someone spun out on the bridge, happened right in front of us. I stopped on the side of the road. I went and made sure that they were okay.
Waited for help to get there.
Waited for help to get there.
I was yakking on the CB, telling everyone to slow down.
But thank you for everyone for listening, taking the time out of your day to listen to me ramble on. According to Todd, I'm doing great. I should do Facebook lives more often. I just don't always get my words together and out my mouth the way that I want it to be, but I have a lot of thoughts in my head and a lot of good things to say. I just don't know how to say it sometimes. But thank you all. Have a happy New Year. If you're getting to go home and be with your families for New Year's, wonderful. God bless you. I'm staying out here until probably around the 15th of January, and then I'm going to go home for some home time. But be safe for New Year's. Have a designated driver. Don't drink and drive. Take care. Be responsible. Take care. Share the crap out of this.
Me and
There's
my
the
crazy
wife.
hair.
There's our two dogs, Zoe and Esther. I'll show you real quick before I log off. I have a beautiful Bumblebee truck. No, Bumblebee is not supposed to be a semi-truck, but I made my own design and made it look like the Camaro, kind of. But I kind of did my own design, and I am absolutely proud of this truck. I am completely proud of this truck, and that's why I'm buying it. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Time to go and run some freight. Again, Happy New Year, and y'all take care. Good luck on the trucker shutdown. I stand with you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.